The story that you are about to hear is a compilation of documented true facts, featuring characters, events, or places that has played a role in shaping history. Please sit back and listen as I recite this narrative for you. Between 1972 and 1975, 15 females were murdered around Sonoma County in Northern California. The first victims were thought to be 12-year-old Yvonne Weber and Maureen Strong, who vanished on their way home from the Redwood Ice Skating Rink in Santa Rosa at around 4 p.m. on February 4, 1972. Both girls, like other young people in that era, often hitchhiked. They were last seen hitchhiking in Guinerville Road, northwest of Santa Rosa. Their remains were found at the bottom of a 60-foot embankment near a country road in the France Valley area east of Sonoma County on December 28. Forensic examination indicated that they had been killed elsewhere and simply dumped there. Nobody could say for sure whether the girls had been sexually assaulted. A single earring, orange beads, and a 14-karat gold necklace with cross were found at the scene. The cause of death could not be determined from the skeletal remains. Sterling's mother identified the cross necklace and earring as her daughter's property. The mate to the earring was not found at the scene. The killer had removed their clothes and taken a single gold earring from each girl, a practice he would continue in the future. On March 4, 1972, 19-year-old Kim Wendy Allen, a student of Santa Rosa Junior College, was traveling home when she vanished. She was given a ride by two men and was last seen at 5 p.m., hitchhiking northbound along Highway 101. Her naked body was found on a bed of a creek. She had been strangled with a clothesline. There were rope burns on her ankles and wrists, as if she had been tied spread-eagled, and superficial cuts on her chest. She had been raped and slowly strangled with a cord for an estimated 30 minutes. Semen was recovered from the body. Her clothes and a single earring were missing. The killer had also taken her handbag and other possessions, including a small barrel of soy sauce, which had a Chinese character on it that resembled the character drawn by the Zodiac Killer in one of his letters. An aluminum frame orange backpack that Allen had been carrying at the time of her murder was found several weeks later, and her checkbook was deposited in a drive-up mailbox across from the Kentfield, California post office sometime on the morning of March 24, 1972, 20 days after she was murdered. Police thought two fingerprints on the checkbook might belong to the killer. When she was found, Allen also had an oily substance on her right side that authorities said was similar to the oil used in a machine shop. Then, on November 21, 13-year-old Lori Jursa was abducted from the U-Safe Market in Santa Rosa. She was found with a broken neck 3 weeks later in a ravine near Calistoga Road. Again, she was naked, and although the wire loops were still in her ears, the body of her earrings were missing. Less than 100 yards from where Lori Lee Jursa's body had been dumped, the skeletal remains of 20-year-old Jeannette Kamahele were found in a shallow grave on July 6, 1979. A student at Santa Rosa Junior College, she was last seen hitchhiking near the Cotati on-ramp of Highway 101 and was traveling north to Santa Rosa on April 25, 1972. Her hands and ankles had been bound together with white clothesline that was then wrapped around her neck 4 times. A friend witnessed her likely abduction and reported that she had entered a faded brown Chevrolet pickup truck fitted with a homemade wooden camper and driven by a Caucasian male with an afro hairstyle that looked to be between 20 and 30 years old. The killer then moved to San Francisco. On May 29, 1973, the body of Rosa Vasquez was found in Golden Gate Park. She had been strangled and her body was thrown 7 feet off the roadway into some shrubs. She was, at one time, thought to have been one of the Zodiac victims. The body of Yvonne Quilantang was found in a vacant lot in the Bayview district on June 10. She had also been strangled, and the 15-year-old was 7 months pregnant. Again, She was thought to have been a Zodiac victim. The body of 16-year-old Angela Thomas, originally from Belton, Texas, was found at Benjamin Franklin Junior High School on July 2. She had been smothered. A locket was recovered near her body. Then, on July 15, 24-year-old Nancy Patricia Gidley went missing from the Rode Inn motel and was strangled. Another possible Zodiac victim, her body was dumped in the parking lot of George Washington High School near where the taxi driver Paul Stein was killed. An X-ray technician from Mountain Home, Idaho, she was visiting San Francisco to be the maid of honor at the wedding of Colette Mrozek of Novato, California at Hamilton Air Force Base in Marin County. She also had ambitions to be a freelance writer for the San Francisco Chronicle. All four were naked. There was a strong military connection between these victims. Nancy Gidley served 4 years in the Air Force and had been discharged at Hamilton Air Force Base early the previous year. Rosa Vasquez was a key punch operator at Letterman General Hospital at San Francisco's Presidio. Angela Thomas was the daughter of an Army sergeant who was once stationed at the Presidio. In San Francisco for a visit, she was last seen in the area of the Presidio where she had gone to look up old friends, and Yvonne Quintana was engaged to a soldier who was stationed in Missouri, though she was pregnant by another man. By now, an established trend was obvious. Only the location changed. 4 young women were strangled and dumped naked in San Francisco in the spring and early summer of 1973 before hitchhiker Carolyn Davis was poisoned and dumped in a ditch near Santa Rosa in July. It was the same spot the Strong and Weber's remains had also been discovered. 15-year-old Carolyn Nadine Davis was last seen leaving her grandmother's house in Garberville on July 15, 1973. A runaway from Anderson in Shasta County, she went missing while hitchhiking south on Route 101. On July 31, 1973, her naked body was found 2.2 miles of Porter Creek Road on France Valley Road, in the same spot where Yvonne Weber and Maureen Strong's body had been dumped 7 months earlier. She had been poisoned by strychnine, and the police discovered that Carolyn had bought a one-way ticket to fly from Redding to San Francisco. An autopsy found that Davis had an injury to her right earlobe that appeared to be an attempted ear piercing. Her left earlobe had not been pierced. On the embankment above her body, twigs were placed in strange design to form 2 interlocking squares. This was thought to be a witchcraft symbol designating the carrier of spirits. Again, the Zodiac killer was interested in such symbols. The next body turned up near Redding on July 22. It belonged to Nancy Feusi. She had been stabbed to death. Back in San Francisco, the naked body of Laura Odell was found on November 4. Her body was found in the bushes behind the boathouse at Stowe Lake in Golden Gate Park. Odell's hands were tied behind her back, and the cause of death appeared to be from head injuries or strangulation. On December 22, 1973, 22-year-old Therese Diane Walsh disappeared while hitchhiking on 101 from Malibu Beach to her home in Garberville to be able to join her family for Christmas. She had been hogtied with a 1/4-inch nylon rope, raped, strangled, and thrown into a creek near the spot where Kim Wendy Allen's body was found. Some believe that there is an occult significance that she went missing on the winter solstice. The police believe the same killer stabbed Brenda Merchant in Marysville on February 1, 1974, dumping her naked body in a ditch alongside a rural road. Then, on September 29, the naked body of Donna Braun was discovered floating in the Salinas River near Monterey. The 14-year-old had been strangled. She was thought to have been the last of the killer's victims. The idea that these murders might have had occult significance was put forward by Sergeant Erwin Carlstead of the Sonoma County Police. He cited the witchcraft symbol found on the embankment in the Carolyn Davis case, though they could have been just a piece of childish art. He also pointed out that the bodies had all been dumped on the east side of a road. At that time, he tied the California killings to those of 7 women in Washington state between January and July 1974 who had all been abducted in the waning or sacrificial phase of the moon. His 1975 report stated that the killer was familiar with witchcraft or the occult because of a witchcraft symbol found during the Carolyn Davis case and the possible occult involvement in the missing females in the states of Oregon and Washington. However, the Washington killings were later attributed to the prolific serial killer Ted Bundy, while Bundy's known movements preclude involvement in the California murders. Serial rapist and murderer Harvey Carignan was a suspect in the unsolved murders, when it came to light that he had been given a speeding ticket he collected in Solano County, east of Santa Rosa, on June 20, 1973, but no solid evidence ties him to any of the murders. 1 week later, he attacked Marlise Townsend at a bus stop 1,500 miles away in Minneapolis. Clubbed unconscious from behind, she woke in Carignan's car, still groggy from the blow. But when he tried to make her masturbate him, she found strength enough to leap from the speeding vehicle and save herself. This ultimately led to his arrest in September 1974, and he was already in jail when Donna Braun was murdered. Besides, none of the crimes showed Carignan's MO. He beat his victims with a hammer. In his book Zodiac, published in 1986, author Robert Graysmith ascribes this and other unsolved murders to the elusive Zodiac killer. But as he has not been caught, it is impossible to say whether one or more serial killers are at large in the Golden State. This case represents 15 of 54 total unsolved homicides between the years 1970 and 2006 within the jurisdiction of the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office. In 2011, cold storage DNA from some of the cases was submitted to Combined DNA Index System or CODIS, a national DNA database. In 2018, DNA was brought out for testing, hoping to identify the killer or killers in the same manner the Golden State Killer was caught. Hey everyone! I just wanted to express how grateful I am that you took the time to listen to my narration. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I am Twysted Mind and please enjoy the rest of your day. Salamat!